This week's spiritual discipline is fasting. And most of us fast from one thing or another. We give something up for Lent, right? And that helps us to repair our ways. I think about I was probably eating too much chocolate anyway, or it reminds us of the sacrifices that Jesus made, and it can renew us in prayer. But fasting in the traditional sense is going completely without food. And Jesus, when he was instructing his friends, he didn't say, if you fast, he said, when you fast. So he was our model and our example. And of course, he went 40 days without eating or drinking. And I'm not suggesting that we do that. But I do think you should try the idea of fasting because its real purpose is just to glorify God. We're not trying to get something, but we're offering something to God as an act of love. And in addition, it really does have some major benefits. It reminds us that food doesn't sustain us, but that God does. Remember, Jesus said, humans don't live by bread alone, but my food is doing the will of my Father. Fasting also reveals what controls us. So if you have some heart issues going on, like when I'm fasting, I realize, wow, I've got some anger issues, or I've got some patience issues, or I've got some self-centeredness that I need to deal with. But also, it can realign our appetites. So our natural desires and cravings for food sometimes can overrun the riverbank, as it were. And so fasting can kind of keep things in their proper channels. So I suggest that you start just by fasting from one meal. And of course, you want to drink lots of water. Then the next week, try fasting for 2 meals, or eventually work your way up to fasting for 3. But consider giving that time over to prayer, spiritual reading, or even journaling. But it's a way to experience a spiritual sensitivity and awakening that really isn't like any other discipline. So I hope you'll join the ranks of people from around the world who've experienced the joy of fasting.